Oh, I may be washing my face off again today.
Let's go!
Hey everybody, I am here with a e.l.f. new products first impressions video. This was going to be a get ready with me video. In fact, I had already filmed get ready with me video 3 times and just things went wrong. I didn't like the look that came out. I washed my face, and then with this look here, the camera battery died. So then I had finished half my makeup. So this is actually going to be a hangout with me, talk to me video with clips inserted from the previous videos. Today, I don't own an e.l.f. primer just because I am a little bit afraid to put drugstore primers on my face because I feel like all the ones that I've tried in the past have broken me out. So I do have the Tarte Clean Slate Poreless Primer on my face today, and then I did use the e.l.f. Hydrating Under Eye Primer and the Flawless Finish Foundation in the color Sand. And then I also used, which I really like, one of my favorite e.l.f. products actually is the e.l.f. Radiance Enhancer in the color Spotlight, and I used my favorite brush, the e.l.f. Small Stipple Brush, just to stipple that on right around there. And then I went ahead and I experimented with the Cream Contour Palette, which I actually really like. You'll see with the video that I use this really dark shade here for the contour that I have on my face, and then I used a little bit of this light creamy one to highlight this area. And then that really dramatic. Let's sort of lay a little bit down around my nose. I'm winging it here, okay guys? My contour is, I'm winging it. About to blend it out. I'm using the camera view too, so who knows how, it's a tiny little picture for me and my eyesight is not the greatest right now. So let me try and use this little mirror in front of me to help me out just a tad. Let's go ahead and blend this out. Blend this like out. I may have brought it a little bit too low. Oh, I may be washing my face off again today. What do you know? I'm doing some very strategic blending. Not really, I'm just playing around. Set my face with the e.l.f. Tone Correcting Powder in Cool. This is the one that has the yellow, blue, pink, and greenish. I like this one because I feel like it doesn't really change the color of my makeup. I'm wearing the Total Face palette, and this is a really awesome palette. I use this color down here in the corner. It's like a satiny matte bronze color for this area right here, and I used the blending brush that I really like. Woohoo! Let's try this. I felt like there's a whole bunch of powder in my face. So that's kicked up a bunch of powder. Maybe I picked up a little bit too much product. No, I actually really like that. I'm going to use this angled blush brush, and I'm going to go in with this peachy color in the top corner right here. Oops, I picked up a lot. Let me tap some off. And I'm going to start back here because I do want to use some of this illuminating. This illuminator here, I think in the top left corner, that may be a little bit too dark for my skin tone, but we're going to give it a go anyway. Ooh. There we go. There we go. Oh yeah. This palette is giving an A+ from me right now because I am definitely liking the effect. So I'm going to take the Selfie Ready brush, and I'm going to tap into this illuminating looking powder. Stick it on. So this side has it, this side doesn't. This side has it, this side doesn't. Do we see a difference? Actually, I do see a difference. This side here is more sparkly. In person, I would say it's a little tiny bit too frosty. On camera, it kind of looks pretty. Right here in the corner, I feel like is a dupe for the Betty Luminizer. In fact, yeah, it gives a really similar finish to the Betty Luminizer. In person, it's a little bit frosty. I like how it looks on camera. In person, a little frosty, but if you're the type of person like me that likes shimmer, you'll like it. But if your skin's dry and you see your pores, you might not like this color here on the top. The other three shades are very buttery and blend well, sit well on the skin. I really love this palette. I need to do like a top 10 favorites e.l.f. I think I would put this in there. It's playing between 3 different palettes, and this is one that I have. I have this green here around my eyes, and then on the outer corner I have this smoky gray shade, and then I have Kneaded Nude, which I used this goldy color here as my transition shade. And then I opened the Mad for Matte palette, and I have that color, this gray color right here, around the outer corners of that green that I laid down. I also used the Makeup Lock and Seal. I mixed this sponge tip applicator, and that's how I was able to get the intense green, just because the green that's in the pan is not what really shows up on your eye. It's really quite light when you just try to swatch it. So what I had to do to try to get more color payoff from that was a couple drops of this e.l.f. Lock and Seal on top of the sponge tip applicator. Actually, I'll go ahead and do a little bit for you just to see how different the color is. So unfortunately, even though these colors look really pretty on the pan, they don't really look as intense as I would like dry. But if you use them wet with something like the Makeup Lock and Seal, you get a much more intense green color. So they are definitely usable. I do like them. I did get a chance to use one of these brush cleanser wipes from e.l.f. to try to clean the brushes, just because I had done my makeup a couple of times and I didn't want to wash my brushes in water. I just wanted to use the same ones again. My first impression of this is that it's not the best cleanser. Leaves your brush bristles wet. So if you want to use something like this, you can't quite use the brushes right away. I had to grab a tissue and try to dry them off that way. And they're also not really a deep clean. I think they would be good for on the go if you don't need your brushes to be that clean. I'm not sure if a makeup artist could use this, just because I think makeup artists would need to have their brushes really clean and then also dry quickly. So this is more like something that you could take on a trip, and then you can let your brushes dry after you've cleaned them overnight and then use them the next day. So overall, I had a really fun time doing this get ready with me video. Too bad that it didn't quite turn out how I wanted it to. It was more like a hang out with me, talk to me video. Oh, and as my liner, I use this e.l.f. Long Lasting Lustrous Eyeshadow in Festivity. I have a whole video on these. I really like how this catches the light. Oh, and I also opened the Runway Ready Lip Palette, and that's what I have on my lips today. I have this mauve pinky shade right here. This stays really well on the lips, so I'm pretty impressed with the staying power of it. I put it on at least an hour ago. I've had a drink. I've had to feed Ariel. And then it comes with a pretty decent, substantial lip brush, which is what I use to apply it. The only thing you might not like about this one is that it has a little bit of a sweet taste. It's not a bad or offensive taste. It's really sweet. It tastes like sugar. And the smell is like vanilla or candy or baked goods. But I was pretty impressed with this little palette as well, and the staying power that left with my lips. So e.l.f. is just one of those all-around awesome brands. Of course, all brands have their hits and misses. Oh yeah, I also wanted to mention that my eye primers that I have on today are the e.l.f. Eyelid Primer in Gold for my lids, and then for my brows I used the sheer color. The sheer color is a little bit light and it kind of whites out my brows, so I look really strange. Maybe I'll insert a clip when I have that, because it almost makes it look like I don't have eyebrows when I put it on. If you've ever primed your brows, you will know what I'm talking about. When you put primer on it and it looks like, whoa, my eyebrows, they disappeared. So that's kind of what this one does to me. And I think I remember that this one in flash photos looks a little bit scary. Hopefully I will talk to you again soon. Bye!